We're going to start shortly. Just want to make sure. Hi, everyone. We're going to start shortly. I just want to make sure that the connection is okay and everything is fine. And we still have few probably participants joining. That's great. Let me just get ready. Yes, I believe we can start. Just for the clarity, hello guys, my name is Marcin Kasica. I am a Director of Global Education and Training at EON Reality. And I want to say thank you and welcome to this EON-XR User Workshop, which I want to focus on immersive levels in XR-based learning. And I already see messages that we have people from different places around the world. Hello and welcome. So we have people from Bulgaria, from United States as well, and from other parts of the world. Great. I appreciate especially the one who joined from Asia and Europe, where the time zone suggests it's already afternoon or evening. Thank you very much. I assume that all the connection is great, and we will have on front of us some interesting and useful session for you guys. You all been invited here as the EONXR platform users, and I hope with your experience, with your focus on the using a modern technology, we will be able to go to some next level and discuss some interesting topics. With that, I want to show quickly the agenda and housekeeping rules for today. I'm expecting that today's sessions will be lasting around 40 minutes. I usually talk a lot, but today I'll try to limit myself to 40 minutes. There is a chat window, as some of you already recognized it, and I would be very happy to browse and see your questions, your comments here in the chat. So please help me and participate in this training by providing me your valuable feedback. Also, this session will be recorded or is recorded and will be shared on our social media channels, including YouTube. So if you have to do yourself a break, make a tea or coffee, but you don't want to lose some of the things, then don't worry, you will be able to watch it later. As per the topics, my experience is in mechanical engineering and in IT, and I would like to focus on what I do best. So I would like to discuss about the immersiveness, immersion, how does this apply to the education? How does this fits to the vision that EON Reality has in regards to the building a society of easy, accessible, affordable knowledge transfer solutions for everyone in the planet. I would like to concentrate on the use of the solution called EONXR within the immersive systems. With use of the immersive systems, that becoming more and more popular. And of course, at the end, I would like to, and that's very important for me, to address some of your questions. So please fill the chat window and the question window with lots of your questions. And I see I have also people connected from Ghana. Great, guys. Thank you very much. I'm really happy to have you here, and I appreciate joining me into this. All right, so with the good spirit, let's do it. I always show that, and then every single time when I see it, it puts a smile on my face. Let's discuss what this immersiveness there is, and how does that apply to us? So many of us as an EON-XR user already realizes that the key tool for engaging students that EON is trying to promote is to utilizing something that very often is forbidden in the classroom, to using mobile devices. And we want to work with the educators to present how interruption can change into the supplement, addition, and extra value in the classroom. But today, I want to also focus on the aspect of what is this virtual and augmented reality that we enabling through the platform, we enabling through this solution on those devices that we know, and also on the more advanced devices. We hear lots of the marketing noise and virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality, XR also, EON is using this within the name. And what does that means and what does it apply? Is what I'm showing right now, me with a virtual background, is it already augmented reality or not? How do I refer? And I want to say to you, I wouldn't be worried about that. I will present it in sense, but the naming is not important. What is important is the experience. And all those technologies providing on one hand ability to be fully immersed, fully surrounded by totally digital environment, totally unrealistic or realistic scenarios where we can be exposed, fascinated by the things that maybe existed in the past, maybe were existing in the future, or even in the training, which is more serious use of the technologies with a low probability, high consequences scenario. So we can experience that with being fully engaged into the immersive world. That's what the virtual reality is. How do you achieve that? In various ways. And we will discuss that from the Homido glasses that you are adding and you're placing, and I'm looking for the one which is with the EON branding here, which you can add it to your mobile phones, towards something, and let me grab it, something that is more and more used in a different educational establishments like head-mounted displays, HTC Vive, Oculus, and many others, but also more throughout the standalone devices, the devices that are cheaper than the mobile phones, and they can be also easy accessible and used. And today I will demo how to use the Oculus Quest in specific for experiencing EON-XR. Augmented reality, on the other hand, is the solution where we're using the features of our devices, which is the webcams, when we can see things and we can overlap. We can make the things look different. We can make the things being part of the unreal things being part of the real environment. But where does that lead us? That leads us that all of those technologies together, we called it mixed reality, or we called it extended reality, that we extend our human perception and adding to it the benefits of the virtual world. And this is the mission also behind this, is to extend the perception of the human beings and extend it especially in the area which is the most important for the future generations, which is education and supporting knowledge transfer, both on the traditional educational approach as well as those vocational education, this industrial education as well, because we all know it's important for future new jobs and new developments of the society. So I use in the title for this presentation, I use the word immersion. So where does it stand and where did I took it from? And I always like to refer to this definition of a virtual reality as I to the power of 3, or I to the I cube, which comes from the definition that Bryson and Gerald Lanier were trying to define as well, is where we have this triangle of 3 eyes interaction when there is a human and a computer, and the human and computer in symbiotic format try to interact to achieve some goals. Immersion, when we can see the world three-dimensionally, the way the world has been existing for always as a three-dimensional. So we get immersed into that. We get the feeling that even if something isn't real, we feel it like being surrounded by that. And a very important element, third element of that definition is imagination. So if we put those 3 together, we can create something extremely amazing and extremely useful for young minds, for the people who want to learn something, would like to get more from that. Why all those 3 elements together? Because the natural way of learning, the natural way of the way we learned before we joined any educational establishment was by touching, by feeling, by grabbing, by seeing. We have 2 eyes. That means as a human beings, we evolve, we've been created, however we look into it, as being able to perceive the world in 3 dimensions. And with that, if the world is 3-dimensional, I should also learn it 3-dimensional. And our eyes and brains are giving us 3-dimensional images when we close the eyes and we think about some sort of scenery. When you look at me right now, even though I'm a flat piece of image on your screens right now, I'm actually 3-dimensional. So when I'm able, you and your abstract thinking in the brain, our abstract thinking in the brain, give us that ability to interpret that information as a 3-dimensional. So wouldn't it be better if we will try to do the same thing for education? When current education, based very much on the images, textbooks, some pictures, YouTube video, we're all learning from YouTube. I do that almost every day when I have to learn something new. I always search Google, YouTube, and those are a very valuable source of information. But what they are missing is the fact that they are based on the 2-dimensional data. And even though they are very important, they have the whole evolution as an intellectual evolution of a human has been based on those discoveries like text, writing, reading. But it doesn't mean that that it is the best thing for the education. Whenever we read the book, our imagination starts to create images, 3-dimensional images of the space. We don't even realize that that's a natural way of interpretation. The same thing is when we're trying to learn some of the concepts, especially in the sciences, there's impossible to not do that without the 3-dimensional understanding. It's a crucial thing for the domains like biochemistry, medicine, engineering, architecture, ecological system, environments, chemical, and many, many others that practically, I would say, in every sector that we are exposed to the education, we need to have some imagination and combining or supporting that imagination by the 3-dimensional vision, 3-dimensional natural vision of things that may be or may not be there, augmented, virtual, mixed and extended our elements. It only helps to get a better understanding, remember longer, and make a better decision. So how does that apply practically to the education? There are lots of studies done in here about the about the use of the virtual reality in education. And I just decided, because of the format of this workshop, and the webinar, sorry, I wanted to extract few information. Lots of the engineering companies, leading companies around the world, they are searching for best fits for the market. And we all know that the education is very, how to say it, stagnant and hard to apply the new things. But either we like the new technologies, either the groups of educators are able to apply the new technologies or not, because the smart boards become more and more popular. There is more and more technology available, but we still have this thinking that the technology and the Google and other search engines are interruptions in the knowledge, in gathering the knowledge. The companies like Samsung, in this case, trying to put those numbers together, and we have also another sources like International Research Institute proving that using 3D, using virtual reality, using augmented reality in the classroom, not only tackles one of the most important challenge of the working with the trainees, with the students, which is the engagement, but also makes the people better understands, better apply and work on practical elements when giving circumstances of this unusual times that we're living in. It's extremely crucial when the students, kids, very often the young minors, they are forced to learn in their own houses. They are forced to learn without the access to the laboratory, without the access to the equipment, without the access to the social elements of the learning, which is crucial for better understanding, exchanging the knowledge, and building the ideas. So how does that also apply for the future? I'm a big believer that the role of the education is to focus and build the future generation, provide the knowledge for the future generation. And those generation which will, after graduating university, college, you name it, they will go to the industry. So the fact is that the virtual reality is already industry. EON Reality, for that example, we for more than 20 years work with various partners from a large Fortune 500 companies to the smaller institution, right now more with educational sector, and rolling out this vision of the supporting human 2.0, some symbiotic work between the human and computers, using modern technology, not as a solution, as a panaceum, as a solution to all the problem, but supporting humans in solving the challenges. And here on this slide, you guys can see that data from the industry, and this is coming from an Atlas Copco company, and the industry proves as well that the return of investments done into training and education with use of the virtual reality pays back. Those numbers of 12 times faster training for the service technician, or 2.7 times faster in the operator's training, those are real money. Those are also real benefits for the trainees, for the companies, and for the future workforce. So, how to start? How do you start? You have already access to the EON-XR. That's my assumption, because that's the audience which we're targeting here. But if you don't, you can get it for free as well. Just going to the www.eon-xr.com. But how can you start with the immersiveness? We know that around 82% of the educational establishment and organizations around the world, they already have some access to the technology like virtual reality, but only some of them, only fraction of that number is able to move any way further. So as EON Reality, our aim is to make the knowledge, is to follow the vision of the knowledge is a human right and make it accessible, affordable, and available for everyone using the devices that we use the most, that we sometimes even get addicted to. So those are the mobile phones, and I would say that, of course, we're using them every day. So why not using those devices, if we call them smart device, why not using them in a smart way, into learn something, into building some sort of information? And what's the better way to learn than exploring different topics, exploring and learning? EON took the so-called agnostic approach. So from our point of view, when we develop those solutions, we're not trying to concentrate on the specific devices. We're trying to be sure we look on the whole spectrum of currently available devices. One device come, one device go. The technology change very quick. Sometimes before the technology become available for the standard user, it's already obsolete. We're trying to move away from that. We are looking on the market, we're making sure we know what's going on, but our aim is to focus on how to use the devices that exists in the best format for teaching, for learning, for sharing experience and sharing the knowledge. So we support Android devices, iOS devices. Okay, so how does that fit to the immersiveness? And you can see it also on the screen, and I will also demonstrate it. Using mixed reality headsets like Magic Leap or Microsoft HoloLens, or using the virtual reality headset like Oculus, HTC Vive, and many other, you can be immersed. Using your mobile phones, you can also build up to the immersion. So I was showing to you this little piece of the glasses that you can attach, and it works in a very similar way like a Google Cardboard. That is costing not a very fraction of the mobile phone. It's actually probably something about $5 or $7 US, depending on where it is and how it is, depending on the availability of different devices. But you can get access and change your personal mobile phone by just attaching the elements to it, and make the mobile phone, in this case, a gateway to immersive experience, that wherever you look, you see the objects, and objects that you cannot see in the real world or you cannot have in your living room. you can bring them to life, and you can bring them, explore them, and learn showing and presenting them using your mobile phone. What else? Using the immersion, so that ability to being surrounded by the elements, also in augmented reality within the EON-XR, it is possible by presenting object even in one-to-one scale. So we not only see the objects, we can see how they work, how they are built, what's the process around them, but we can even walk around them in the real scale, gather that important experience, exposure to the topic, which makes us better prepared. And it could be anything from the tanks, from the ship, plane, machines, up to the operational room, operational theater, medical sector, architecture, history. All different sciences can benefit from that kind of approach, that the students can from any place, anywhere, be there, learn, present, explore, see through, and be in their own environment, the environment that they know, but also being superposed and immersed more within the augmentation in the application itself. And I'll stop for a second. I have from one of the participants and saying, can I bring the FB access to it? And the answer is yes. You can import in the same way as we're supporting multiple 3D formats, EON-XR, and I will maybe at the end also focus more specifically to show you that. You can import different 3D models and into the library. So which means it's not only you have to rely on what is there and seeing in a semi-photorealistic or more abstract format, but you can also bring your own models, your own assets into it and import it using CAD formats, using DCC, digital content creation format. What for? To explore them, to be able to learn those topics and superpose, enhance those elements, those objects, those photos with the knowledge, and share that knowledge with the others. And to build the best immersiveness of the experience that is the most engaging, we use preliminarily something that is the most common devices in virtual reality right now is head-mounted displays. And head-mounted displays, there are many of them, and one I want to focus on, and I think many of you might already have it, may already been exposed to or have access to. Let me just play those things here. Is the Oculus Quest. I have a first version of Oculus Quest. There is a second version of Oculus Quest, and within the platform there is a feature which allows you to generate authentication, install the application on the headset itself. And I already have on my headset installed the EON-XR, and I will demo it to you in a moment. And being able to explore the library of the content, put your own content as well, convert it, prepare it, and make it available to use in a fully immersive solution where interaction could be done using different controllers and solutions like game controllers, solutions like your hands that you track, you touch, you move the objects in the virtual space. What else? I mean, in this case, of course, we're not forgetting about that in those environments, in the Oculus as well, and we have the ability to explore. We have ability to learn, to see the object that existed, existing, or will exist in our imagination, and we can see them with information, additional information, with the 3-dimensional spatial recognition type abilities, with that immersiveness. And also we can be moved and presented into the classroom area where we can not only explore the objects and be in a virtual space, and in the next version we're also supporting the collaborativeness and ability to work multiple people together in this space. That's what's the future. And I'm moving. I'm looking on the clock. It's at 25 minutes already, so I'm actually a little bit ahead of the time, which is great for the reason, because as my teacher used to say, we're starting later so we can finish sooner. But being more in it, the EON within the platform, and as a user, soon you will get more functionalities, and we will be releasing a newer version 9.0 of our platform and the applications. And that will come also not only with the support of the playing the content on virtual reality, but also playing on the systems that existing in the classroom already, with the ability to play on the eye catcher, on the 3D projection solutions as well. I want to go right now into the quick demo. For that, I will be presenting my screen in here and showing what's going on my device. And I would like to also check if anyone has any questions and into this. And I will use something called Oculus Quest. As I mentioned, I have a first version of it, but I want to show you how easy it is to utilize the platform. And let me just go there just to make sure. Okay, how easy it is to utilize the platform with the lessons that are already there in various formats of immersiveness and switching it from between the different devices. So I'm wearing, and I will be presenting in a moment. Just I need to provide the approval on my device. Okay, and soon we will be able to see what's going on my device here. Streaming. Okay, so right now I'm in this virtual classroom, as you can see, and I'm just going to check if you guys can see it quite well. So I'm already using the Oculus application, and I can present my hands. I can grab also the controllers, and having access to this free lesson library, as well as I was presenting, by providing a one-time passcode that can be generated from my mobile application. I'm just checking if I'm still visible. I can access the library from my institution as well. But even within the free access, there is a series of the lesson exercises and the elements from a different categories that I can choose, I can browse, I can play, I can have fun with, and also I can learn. So either I would like to learn about the distillation tower and the chemistry and the physical chemical processes about it, connected with the cloud, ability to download the content, and ability to explore the content in this full immersive environment. So whatever I see right now, it's full moving myself from my chair without moving myself from my room and go from one to another. So I would like to know if there are maybe some questions, guys. I know you have a chat, so I'm just browsing through it right now. I have few hellos. Can we do this facility without the VR device? So that's one of the questions. Can we use it without a VR device? And the answer to it is, you already, either you are aware of it or not, you are already a user of an immersive device. The mobile phones and the smart devices that we have, and I will try to demonstrate that also in here. And let me just share my phone screen. That this device called the smartphone is already your gateway for the exploring applications in full immersiveness. So the all thing you have to do, and maybe choose to show it from the beginning, if you have never used the EON-XR before, which I doubt, but if you haven't, you can just go, as I mentioned, to the EONXR.com, to this web address, log in, either create your account for free, or if you are a member of the institution, you can sign in with the credentials that has been provided to you, and start exploring the library, start to utilize the content, and more important, also create that. I have a question from the Ravindran. Can we connect to discuss? Of course, I will show my email address at the end as well, and I will be more than happy to move, and we will do the follow-ups also with you guys if you are interested in more discussions, more hands-on experience and presentation and demos with that. But getting into the library give me ability to choose different topics, explore the topics, either educational on the K-12 level or even on the higher education level, choosing it, searching, finding, and would like to learn. Let's say here I have some lesson about the chemistry. I have to admit, in my schools I was really bad in chemistry, but it doesn't stop me from exploring it. So how can I achieve this immersiveness through the platform? On one hand, as I mentioned, and my phone should be right now, just a second, I have to connect it, otherwise it will not be displayed. Yeah, and it's connecting right now. I can just connect to the lesson and play it and use one of the modalities, which could be the virtual reality or augmented reality. My phone is connected right now. So installing the EON-XR application, I can just run it, sign in very easily, and start to explore the lessons in either a touch mode, VR mode, or very fascinating AR mode. And let me just choose the different institution here, or it doesn't actually matter because it could be from multiple institutions. If I would like to learn about the engines, the chemistry, or any other topic that exists in here, I'm a big fan of the electronics and the Lego, so I can choose the lessons which are about the computer electronics. And even without having access to this piece of equipment in the classroom, as a student, I can explore, I can learn, I can find out more, and just by pressing start a lesson, I can start to explore. By editing or creating, I can build my own lessons and share it with the others, or I can even collaborate with multiple people using a multi-user experience and using it on my personal device anytime I want, in my personal space, in my personal time, learning better without the necessity of being questioned, without the stress that sometimes could come in a classroom. So in here, I have this ability to kind of browse through that, explore, choose the VR mode that allows me to immerse myself by just sliding in the glasses and being able to look around through the objects, seeing from different perspectives, taking it apart, looking onto my own devices so I can be already immersed. Or if I want to, and I will just switch right now to the augmented reality mode, in the same time, by just pressing one button on the screen for AR, my room where I'm here right now could become a place. Find the spot, and that I can place this board on my table and explore it, looking at it, just using my mobile device, having a fun and educative experience by learning different objects, by seeing the additional information about the resistors, cables, by taking things apart. And immersiveness could be achieved even with the mobile phones, with the smartphones, as well, as you can see in here. Okay, with that, and I'll just quickly gonna look into the chat window if there are any questions, because I would like to be sure I can tackle them as well. Is there LTI integration with LMS like a Blackboard? So thank you very much for that question. EON-XR realizes that the educational establishments and systems, universities using the LMS learning management system, and the answer to it, yes. On all the information you would like to learn, you can find on the resources page. So from the EON's Reality website, going to the EON-XR resources, you can find those information about the platform. You can find the user guides, you can find videos that are talking about the various aspects of using it, and it's underestimated, but it's a massive source of great knowledge. And the documents, including the integration format with the LMS systems by using these LTI. Also, if you are an educator, if you're interested in both technical requirements for the virtual reality headsets and other devices, mobile phones, smartphones, you can find it, as well as the briefs for how to create the lesson in the best format. Another thing I would like to tackle, there was this question here when I check, can you import the models as an FBX to the platform? And to answer that, I would like to once again show it to you guys, that within the platform itself, when we're creating a lesson, depending which lesson we decide to create, 360 or 3D, we can always import the content. And for that, there is a import 3D asset feature that from a main menu. where we can by a few clicks upload our CAD documents, our 3D models in various formats, from FBX that was mentioned before, using 3ds Max directly. That's also a relatively new feature that we use, something called Headless Raptor, which works on the back end on our servers to make sure that there is a fidelity, there is optimization, and there is ability to show your models, either as an OBJ file, stereolithography from 3D printing, CAD solutions from SolidWorks, CATIA, Inventor, parts or assemblies. There are lots of different formats. Of course, the quality of the model will determine the quality of the lesson. So always we need to be sure that we're checking it, and we can check the jobs and see if we import it. And I already done some of the imports in here. Some of them will be successful, some of them will be in the queue, and that's already possible to be done straightforward. Question here I'm having: what 360 camera will work best for EON-XR marketplace? Will Reader be supported? The answer to it is a great question, and yes. Reader is actually there right now. Our development team is finalizing the version 9.0, and within that version, within its new elements, we will be supporting all 3D scanning of the object and the augmentation, and building this mixed reality experience with that. So absolutely yes, that's something we're looking into and making sure that this technology is also supported. Do you have a custom VR training module? This is a question. Yes, EON Reality preliminarily focus on the rolling out the platform and making sure that it's used correctly by the educators, by the students, and it takes it full potential. It's being used by the organizations. But yes, we do have a separate training formats. If you're interested more about them, my recommendation will be to contact your local business support manager, business manager, business developer, and they will be able to provide you full information about it. Myself, I'm responsible for something called VR Innovation Academy, which also includes those training modules related to how to become an EON-XR developer and how to become a developer of a custom applications. With that, we're going close to the time, but I really enjoy your questions. So, and I have a question from Justina. Does this work with Google Cardboard or other VR glasses? And because you just joined in, and the answer is yes. So either Google Cardboard or a Homido glasses, easy to accept. So to achieve the 3D, you no longer have to use this. Yes, you can already use the mobile phone and the split of the screen, dividing the screen for presenting image for left and right eye to build a better immersiveness. All right. What else do we have in here? Could you show an example how you use tools to teach English as a second language? I mean, as you can tell by my accent, I'm not native British speaker or I'm English speaker. And in this case, of course, you can present the object, annotate the object within the creation of the lesson. You are able to put the annotation, choose the object you want. And there are plenty of the objects already in the library. You can bring in your own object by importing them as well. But if you would like to teach language, I think the idea of a visual dictionary is something that when I learned English, French, or German language was extremely important, especially in technical education. There are special dictionaries, technical language in French or in English. Or if you have to prepare your workforce for the different naming conventions used in a different, that you can choose an object. And let me choose, if we're already in the area of mechanical engineering, pumps or engines, I'm going to use this Honda engine here, where with your own language, with the support even of the technology, which is called text-to-speech, you can easily, for instance, if I will be to teach an English or other language, so it's engine parts or English for mechanical engineers, selecting the category that I would like to do. And right now, I will put a staff pick or virtual environment or transportation, okay? Build your lesson. And using this piece of software called EON-XR on the desktop, I'm able to annotate, build a 3D recordings, and put that immersiveness that I'm trying to keep keep as a key topic for this session, and build that immersiveness into the experience of your trainees, where in presenting objects, having those objects as a separate part, having them presented in a different language, we can easily, and let me just make it better visible, change the names of here. If it's not the cover, we can easily change the name. For instance, if it will be in Polish, it will be obudowa, and I can have this information, as well as I can build up additional text, either putting my own audio or creating the descriptions in various languages for those who, for instance, would like to use English. So the top engine part is called cover. Let's say it will be called cover, but of course it could be different names. You can choose it and generate with the different accents even the information. If I will do, and unfortunately you might not hear it, but it actually reads this, the computer automatically converts these, our technology built inside this with the support of Amazon Polly, makes it read in that language, in that pronunciation better. All right, will I be able to do more with annotation beyond text? Of course, you can do out a text and the description. You can put videos as well, including the 360 videos, engaging them. For any kind of elements like a text elements, you can build additional quizzes. You can also have the functionality of locate, identified, and building. So there are lots of different activities in this 3D recording, which in this case is possible to be done. We're still developing the application. We're still building the different features. We can, as I'm recording here, presenting, all of that could be included into the recording, could be played as well. And running. So there are more and more features coming up into this. So any kind of also comments, suggestions are welcome. I would like to also make sure that you guys are aware of a very important feature in EON-XR. There is this, when you log in on the website, there is a send feedback. Any feedback, any support, information, questions you want to ask, you can also use this to provide us your valuable inputs and constructive criticism as well, because this is a living thing. This is a platform that we want you to use in the best format. All right. Now, does anyone has any more question? Let me just go. So in here, okay, I'm browsing through it. Okay, I'm just browsing if there are some comments. If you use Google Cardboard, how do you manage the smartphone you use with them? So you're just sliding the phone, of course, with a Google Cardboard, you're sliding the phone and you're just switching automatically to it's switching via modes. Even you can even build up some features that based on the NFC tag can switch and load the application. What else do I see in here? And if there are some questions I'm not able to answer straight away, please excuse me. I will do the follow-up after those workshops and provide you more information later. Okay, I think those are the major things I can see here on the list. There are some of those questions here require a little bit more of the information, and I want to say hi to some of the friends that are also joining. And with that, guys, I would like to, this is just one of the workshops and we have them on a monthly basis. Next one is scheduled for the end of June, and it's going to be about the using of the AR remote. I didn't talk about using HoloLens and immersiveness through that. My colleague Kartik will be focusing on the using it for contextual training and real-time assistance. So how to make it possible that you are in the training area, you are in the industrial area, and he will be showing you that. So I already want to invite you for that. And last, if you have any question, you can just email and I will receive this email. If you send an email to training@eonreality.com, I will be receiving this email. Please send me your feedback, please send me your questions as well, and I will be happy to move forward with a further conversation, discussions, or maybe direct you to the right people who can do it better than I. And with that, I want to say thank you very much for today. I really appreciate your time, your attendance here, your questions, participation, And I wish you all the best and having fun with the EON-XR and become immersed into the knowledge transfer. Thank you very much.